Grew up in a wood house, sitting on bricks. Now I stay in the A, ballin' in the mix. My mama died, my daddy left, I never had help. Now I make a living helping everybody else. Decided at an early age, I'ma go for self. Ended up in a cage, grinding, getting wealth. I'm smart, learn quick. This ain't working. I got hard to earn chips, I start working. You get what you grind for in life, that's for certain. Get more when you place your faith in God, not a person. See that my secret to success. The reason that I'm blessed, it ain't no need for me to stress. That ain't to say though, the drama don't come at me. My road get bumpy like when my face was full of acne. The same way I grew past that, the same way my problems fade away like ashes. And now I'm on the front page. I never thought this when I was on the blunt blaze. Yeah, and now I'm stunting on stage. How they say? I guess my day finally came. And now I'm on the front page. I never thought this when I was on the blunt blaze. Yeah, and now I'm stunting on stage. How they say? I guess my day finally came.
All right, let's go for it.
Only go the red light.
Here we go. Okay, folks, it's Global Music Match Week 5, and I'm here chatting to Team 5 superstar Mr. SaulPaul, all the way from Austin, Texas. Hi, how you doing?
Hello, Sam. Thank you for spelling my name right. Or I saw it written somewhere. That's a common mistake. Well, people say it wrong, and they spell it wrong with like a space. But you did it right, man. So I feel the love.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad we've got that far. If nothing else, at least we've got that bit right. Okay, so. SaulPaul, with you, sometimes it's hard to know where to start. You've got so much going on. You're such a kind of multidisciplinary artist, as well as your music. You have so much other stuff kind of going on. But I think we should start first of all with you and your music. So first of all, you've got this great new album out called Be the Change, which came out at the end of August. It's fantastic. I've been having a listen to it. It's really diverse. It's really interesting. It's got a really kind of positive message. Tell us something about that album and the message behind it and how it came together.
Well, I don't know. I think you did a good recap. It's diverse. There are positive messages. It reflects me as an artist. Like I'm a singer, songwriter, poet. I like words. I like melody, and I like my classical acoustic guitar, so most stuff starts here. And but I realize I get to see different audiences, so I make music that I want to hear, and I make music that I think will connect with the various folks I'm in front of. So this album has taste of dance hall. It has Latin rhythms and a song that's half in Spanish, half in English. It has folk. It has hip-hop, pop, dance, but it sounds like a lot, but I mean, that's just like me. Like, I'm wearing this now, and if you see me tomorrow, I might be wearing a totally different outfit and a totally different vibe. And so my music reflects the different shades and layers of me, all while communicating a message about how to be the change.
And that's a really beautiful and important message at the moment, I think, with everything that's going on in the world. Well, this is a big thing. So what are the changes that you would like to see? I mean, are there any specific ones that you have in mind when you've got that message of be the change, you know? I know that's for everybody to have their own thing. I guess that's the whole point, but, you know.
I mean, that's it. It's simple but profound. But a mentor taught me that a while ago. I love it. Like, simple but profound. And when you're very talented or very good or very, very blank, I think it's hard to be simple because you can go deep into the complex. And I know for me it takes discipline to be simple, but I think when things are simple, they're more accessible. And my goal is to impact the most. So I focus on simple and at the same time profound. And so be the change specifically for me means, like, I believe the fact is we all live on the same planet. I think that's indisputable. Well, you can have opinions about it, but we all agree on that. We're on the same planet, Earth. Don't know if it's round or flat. I'm not talking about that. Just the fact that we're on it. But see, like, people like to debate, man. They can go debate. I'm not here for that. We're all on the same planet. That's the fact. The truth is we each live in our own world. And my challenge is for people to be the change in the world they live in. So not sit up and critique and say what the other person should do and what those folks should do and what these people should do. It's like we all have a sphere of influence. And if you want to see change, then be the change. And it's that simple. And if you want to do it bigger, then hey, do it bigger. If you just want to keep it personal and on an individual level, then do that. But if we all did that, I'm very confident that our planet would be a better place.
I'm confident in that too. That's a great message. I love that about your music, that it's about so much more than just music. It's a real vehicle for a great message. So that's awesome. So you mentioned you've got a very diverse kind of range of influences on the album, and I really like that about it. But there's a couple of tracks which maybe lean towards the more acoustic, more folky kind of sounds, I guess, like Stardust and The Quilt. And we got your acoustic guitar playing coming through there. And also when you play live, when I've seen videos of you playing, that's very much at the forefront of your sound. So can I ask, how did the guitar become part of your sound? And, where did you kind of start playing? Where did that kind of come in? Was there somebody that introduced you to it, or did you just, do you have a hero, a guitar hero, somebody that was like,
my
that's
guitar
great?
hero is Kim Perlak. She's the chair of guitar at the Berklee School of Music.
Oh wow!
She was Berklee School of Music, but when I met her, she wasn't the chair yet. She was she taught guitar at the University of Texas at Austin. And I met her random through happenstance. I put a sign up on the wall at the School of Music. This is years ago, and I just discovered this word called barter. Fancy word meaning that I trade you for stuff. We don't spend money. I was a broke college kid, so I didn't have any money. So I was like, hey, I will barter music lessons for personal training. And I didn't even care what the instrument was. Really, I put like guitar, piano. I figured that's something that I could learn. Thank God she played guitar and she answered. She took me to buy my first guitar. It happened to be a classical acoustic. I didn't know the difference between steel string, classical, or anything else. And it took me a while, but after it clicked and I could play some chords and some scales and then some songs, I fell in love with it in the process. And myself before, so if we rewind before that point, I was just an MC, right? I grew up listening to hip hop, just listening to other people's music. And then I wrote my first song when I was, like 20 or so. And I write the first song. And then I realized, this light bulb just goes off, and I'm like, I think this is what I'm born to do, create music. And so I started writing songs, and I was really good at it and drawn to it. And then I was hitting some walls because I saw there were some people that had condescending attitudes toward hip-hop artists because, hip-hop artists weren't playing instruments. And me, I had this chip on my shoulder, it's not a big deal. I'll learn how to play an instrument then. And so I really did it out of pride. But I fell in love in the process. And then I started rapping and playing the guitar, and I've always been a songwriter. So I saw even when I would perform my songs over acoustic, over the guitar, it just stripped everything away and put the focus back on the words, which is for me what it was always about. So I never got away from it. Then I fell in love with the sound. So then I picked up a steel string after I learned how to play a classical acoustic, and I was like, you know what, I don't like that. I like the warm sound of the nylon, the unique timbre of the classical acoustic. And I started to just create my own lane, and it really worked. I was unique by default, not because I want to stand out and be different. It just happened to be that way. And it was the most truest form that I could present my music in. So that's how it happened for me.
Brilliant. That's great to hear. It's lovely to hear. It's such a kind of organic journey to get you there. And it comes through in the way you present yourself. It's got a really natural kind of feel to it, and unique at the same time. So yeah, great. So you're sitting there with a guitar at the moment, and when we did my interview, you had me up playing a guitar. So if you'd like, I don't want to put you on the spot. If you want to play something, you can play something. You don't have to, but
or anything. Yeah, you keep talking. I'll tune. I don't want to.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's like. Everybody pause and wait while I tune. So,
they're doing that. I'm terrible for that, so people are used to it in my audience. But yeah, okay. SaulPaul, I watched your film, and for my followers and Tower to Tower, which is about his personal journey from the Texas State Penitentiary to graduating with a 4.0 GPA from the University of Texas, the most prestigious university in the state. And SaulPaul is now an ambassador for the state of Texas, right? And yeah, he's somebody that's made an incredible journey. The film is an incredible thing. I mean, it really does detail your journey, SaulPaul, from some really disadvantaged start in life to making some incredible moves. And you know, you've done TED Talks, you're a Grammy-nominated songwriter and producer, you've been on America's Got Talent. There's so much stuff that you've achieved from that beginning. So I mean, I know this is a huge question coming up, but like, how, you know, what keeps you going and through all of that, you know?
What keeps me going?
Yeah.
How about this? I'm ready now, so how about I do a verse?
Yeah.
In a song speaks to that.
Yeah.
It kind of summarizes like everything you shared, like at least the story, at least. So it's this is the first time I wrote this song. It's called, it'll be a part of a song called Front Page. And I remember it was 2010. It was a decade ago. It was the first time they put me in the paper. And I mean, it was a big deal. I'm still always humbled and honored anytime I get any press or ink, right? Just an independent artist.
Absolutely.
They put me on the front page, and I'm an artist, so I did what an artist should do. I wrote a song about it. And so that's where this song comes from. And I think it kind of speaks to the question. Check it out. Grew up in a wood house, sitting on bricks. Now I stay in the A, balling in the mix. My mama died, my daddy left. I never had help. Now I make a living helping everybody else. Decided at an early age, I'ma go for self. Ended up in a cage, grinding, getting wealth. I'm smart, learn quick. This ain't working. I got hard to earn chips. I start working. You get what you grind for in life. That's for certain. Get more when you place your faith in God, not a person. See, that my secret to success. The reason that I'm blessed, it ain't no need for me to stress. That ain't to say, though, the drama don't come at me. My road get bumpy like when my face was full of acne. The same way I grew past that, the same way my problems fade away like ashes. And now I'm on the front page. I never thought this when I was on the blunt blaze. Yeah, and now I'm stunting on stage. How they say? I guess my day finally came. And now I'm on the front page. I never thought this when I was on the blunt blaze. Yeah, and now I'm stunting on stage. How they say? I guess my day finally came. So that's it kind of speaks to my past. That was how I grew up. Like, my mama died, my daddy left. I never had help. Grew up in the ghetto in Houston. I was in foster care. But my grandmother was amazing. She adopted me. There was a 65-year age difference. I was 3, she was 68. And so I would say that's my motivation. She's my why. She dedicated her life to making sure that I could be successful in life. She passed away when I was 17 years old. So she never saw me get arrested. She never saw me go to jail. She never saw me graduate either, though. But when I was sitting in prison, one of my personal epiphanies was like, you know what, I'm wasting my life. And I'm wasting the sacrifices that my grandmother made. Like, and luckily, and it's also, she's why I do what I do. Like, she spoke life into me and told me I could be successful. She told me I was good. She told me I would overcome. She told me all these good things. And so even when my life didn't look like what she told me, I knew that I could still succeed. And so that's why I dedicate my life to serving young people, because I know regardless where they hear it from, whether they hear from me, whether they hear from their parents, whether they hear from a coach, a teacher, a volunteer, somebody in the community, it's like they just need to hear it. And at the right time, if it's there, then that seed can take root and it can grow. Because for me, like, I was in prison. Now, sometimes people are like, oh, but if you would have listened. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I accept that we can't go back. Whoa, what would have happened if we didn't have a pandemic this year? You know, that's, to me, I'm like, that's irrelevant. I don't want to waste time on that conversation. We did, and we can't go back. So who knows what would have happened if it didn't. It did, so now what will we do? And that's always been my approach. And that's what I discovered in prison. And so when I got out, I went from 4 felonies to a 4.0, graduated, and I just realized I have this inherent responsibility. We were talking offline before we started about teaching and like the feel that you get from that, right? Like it's great to be able to pour into other people, and I just feel an inherent responsibility. Like, yeah, okay, I have this gift of music and I can do all this dope stuff. But the final punchline would be people tried to tell me the right thing when I was growing up, but they didn't teach me well. They didn't say it in a way where I understood it. Now, the point isn't to blame them, but it just wasn't effective. Just like trying to write a song, like these chords, it doesn't work, so you change it. You find a different way, right? So for me, it didn't work, and I realized, like, I don't know why, but it works when I do what I do, and people understand and they get it, and so that's what keeps me going. And also, I have so much negative, if it scales, I have so much negative on this side, right? Like, the world's not fair, racism's still real, colorism is real. I'm a dark complected African-American male who grew up in the ghetto with no parents, who went to prison. Like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Without some like miracles or great stuff, like all the odds are against me. So I figure I have to do all this dope stuff, like get a Grammy nomination and do a TED Talk and be on America's Got Talent and do all this other stuff just to balance it out. So, yeah.
Well, it's so inspirational to hear you say that, SaulPaul, and yeah, it's incredible journey that you've made, and I think it's a good time to maybe talk about what's been going on with Black Lives Matter, because the influence of systemic racism in society is a big thing. Obviously, something I'm sure you've experienced in your own journey, in your own life. Even though, as you say, you've made your choices and you've done what you've done in your life, and you've kind of like bracketed that negative stuff and gone, yeah, but this is what I'm going to do, which is so inspirational. But at a societal level, we have all this stuff going on. So, I mean, how do you see Black Lives Matter at the moment? You know, do you feel like, you know, are we going in the right direction?
It's I was talking to a well respected friend of mine, an older white gentleman who's amazing. He's a mentor. I just have so much respect for him. And we were talking about the nuance of the Black Lives Matter movement and the phrase Black Lives Matter. And I won't get into that, but they're two different things. And I think I don't know if people know. I don't know if the average person knows that and what they're referring to. But I think we can all agree that the lives of Black people matter, right? Like just like everyone's lives matter. Like all lives matter. I get that, but we're talking about, again, like me, the scales are so against me because of reality, whatever, right? Reality and choices that I have to like do something to balance it. And it's like systemic racism and institutional, like systemic racism, oppression, all these various things, right? All the buzzwords, like they're true. I haven't seen anything in the last, like this year, that I haven't seen my entire life. And that's the sad part. So it's not like, oh my God, George Floyd or this person or that person, say their names. It's like, I could tell you like T.T. Collins, like say his name, like he was 17 when it happened. It's sadly been my reality. But I believe what it is that the world has paused and stopped, and for whatever reason, I don't think the why is important, but we're here now, and people are actually acknowledging that there's an imbalance, that there is an oppression, that these things are wrong, that it's systemic, it's not just individual, and it's exciting that people are open to solutions right now. And I think that's really the point. I think I parallel it back to my life. I could talk about, like, it's not fair. I was born, like, my mom died. It's not fair. My dad left me before I was born. It's not fair. Racism is real and I'm Black. It's not fair. I was born in poverty. It's not fair. But I don't just focus on, like, that part. I like how you said I bracketed it off. It's like we're starting from here. And I think it's key for people, like everyone involved that wants to really make a difference. Like, we're starting from now. Factor in the past. You can leverage it. Like, I factor my past in. But it's like, what's the goal going forward? And I think that we are making gains. At the same time, I think it's sad because some people want to muddy those waters. I think it's no different than artists. Well, it's different. It's similar to artists. Why do like if somebody if a record label could pay an artist 10% and keep 90%, why would they want to change that deal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, just tell me why. It makes sense. Like, people act like, no, in the spirit of equity and equality, like, that's not why they got into business. They don't want to change that system.
Yeah.
So it's not going to benefit them. And it's like,
if you want to do this on one side, then it has to come down on the other side. Otherwise, there's no, you know, and who wants to do that? And
who wants to do that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
they got the power. Why give that up? So it's really getting muddy and whatnot. So we have to stay focused, clear, and on task. Know what our goals are. Know what our goals are. Know what our asks are. And for those that have the plans, they need to speak up, play their part. We need to come together. But now is the time.
Fantastic. That's really great to hear from your perspective, SaulPaul. So I just want to talk about, you got the Be the Change challenge that's been going on as part of your, stuff around the album Be the Change. And maybe it's a good point to talk about that. You know, tell us about that challenge and how that's worked.
Simple but profound. I think that's a great example. Like, it's so simple, but it's really profound. Like, that connects to what we were just talking about. Like, how do we change the world? We have to, like, break it down into bite-sized pieces so that people can feel that they can be a part of it, that it's accessible, and that their little part, like, plays a big part. And that's what the Be the Change challenge is. It's a 30-day challenge. You go to btckids.live. That's www.btc, like Be the Change, btckids.live, Live, or you can go to SaulPaul.com. But anyway, the Be the Change challenge is something you accept. You can start at any point, and it's like you commit an individual or an organization or an individual and a group of people like collectively say, you know what, we commit to doing 30 days of acts of kindness, and they can make up their own that are culturally relevant, that make sense to them. If they need some ideas or some starters, then like once you sign up, we got 60 to get you started with, and we continually update it. Also, when you sign up, we send you consistent encouragements, and we highlight other people that have been doing it and doing amazing things.
That's great. SaulPaul.com, people, if you want to get involved in the Be the Change challenge. Sounds great. What's next, SaulPaul? What are you up to next? We were just talking offline. You're really busy at the moment. You've got it all going on. So what are you up to at the moment, and what's coming up next? What can we watch out for?
That's a good question. Up next, we're just gonna keep promoting. Yeah, I don't know. I wanna joke and be like, they won't see this. This is pre-recorded, right? Like.
Yeah.
This isn't live. This isn't.
Oh no, we've broken the magic now.
Yeah, I know, right? Catch us on IG if you want to get live. But what's next is later today we're hosting an event. We have like Be the Change Week, and we've partnered with organizations. I love it. I'm gonna keep talking about it. They dumb it down, simple but profound. Corporations have a lot of power. All corporations aren't the bad guy. Some of them are. But some of them want to change, just like some people have been the benefit. Like some people have privilege and they didn't choose it, they just have it, and they're trying to figure out, like, well, okay, well, I got it, what do I do with it? So I work with a lot of corporations, and we've created Be the Change Week. And so these corporations have donated resources, like finances and resources and people, and came alongside as we go to schools here, and as we go to schools virtually now because of COVID. And so we're doing virtual career days, and people are coming and talking about how education played a part in their path to their current success, and how students that come from backgrounds like me, like I grew up in an impoverished area with many challenges. And so we go to schools that are in those areas and help create a pipeline so those students can avoid all the mistakes that I made, and just like go straight to Z, go be successful, and then go be the change after they're successful. So we're focused on that this week, Be the Change Week, and really for the next month. So if people just follow me at SaulPaul.com, you can get all those details. Or if you go to social media, anything SaulPaul, like Facebook, Facebook SaulPaul, Instagram, and Twitter. If they holler at me on Snapchat or TikTok, I might not get it because I'm not that savvy. It's just
You're a busy man. It's too much. It's too much, isn't it? Social media.
Too much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to know. Like, I don't even know. Like, people, we can teach you. Like, no, I can't handle it. Like, I have to remember. I don't have the bandwidth. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I'm there. Holler at me. and I'll holler back at you. I can't wait till the world opens up again and I get to come see people live.
Great stuff. SaulPaul, fantastic to talk to you. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to communicate with us. And love the music, love the message, and I wish you all the best with all the work that you're doing. And people check out SaulPaul.com for everything SaulPaul related, and we'll keep up with your progress and keep an eye on what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
If you want to hear some good guitars, I'll say good. You got great guitars. Don't want to hear some good guitar? If you check out Be the Change, Stardust, The Quilt, Rise Violin. Yeah, just start at The Quilt and go from there. You'll all enjoy it.
Okay, we're on it. We're on the case. All right. Thanks very much, SaulPaul, for joining us. Take care. Cheers.